Welcome to the Texas Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us this evening. Before we get started with our presentation, just a few quick housekeeping reminders. The first is that you are welcome and encouraged to ask questions to any of the panelists at any time utilizing the Q&A button. You can ask a question to a specific university, or you can ask a general question of any and all of the panelists. Also, your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists will not be able to see or hear you. There are additional sessions both tonight and tomorrow, so please feel free to sign up for them at the same website where you signed up for this session. And about 1 week from today, a recording of this session will be available on that same registration website. But without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and introduce our first panelist, which will be Northumbria University, Newcastle. And looks like you're on mute there.
Hi, welcome to Northumbria University from both me, Ian Harris, International Recruitment Manager, and our Angel of the North, the most viewed statue in the UK with 90,000 motorists every day. Welcome to the region, always with a warm embrace, but maybe not the blue skies. It isn't a presentation to international students without a photo of an airport, and we love our airport. You will too, as you connect from the big US airports to our small one-terminal airport, making it very easy to locate our meet and greet service, available at the beginning of every new student year. The airport is a 20-minute metro or taxi journey from the city centre, which makes it very easy for students to return and jet off for weekend or holiday breaks to cities across Europe, with many low-cost airlines flying from here. We love our location, but we know that every university will reference their proximity to London. From Newcastle, there are 20+ direct train services a day, taking 3 hours to arrive in London King's Cross. For those who, like me, fall in love with Newcastle, there is a great city waiting to explore. From the Angel, another warm welcome awaits from the local Geordies and their wonderful dialect. It's English, but not as you might know. And don't worry, we can provide a regional dialect guidebook to help you. Newcastle is a medium-sized UK city with a population of around 300,000 people. It is as close to a college city as you can get, with 2 large universities in the city centre. And during term time, 1 in 6 of the population is a student. The city has a welcoming and vibrant reputation, a passion for sport, especially our EPL team Newcastle United, and an appetite for a great night out. For those seeking something a little quieter, you can access World Heritage sites like Hadrian's Wall, famous castles, national parks, and miles of beautiful coastline. Newcastle also benefits from a relatively small footprint, making it a walking city, and students will find themselves very familiar with their surroundings in no time. That brings a sense of safety, reassurance, and with it, a reputation for being one of the safest university cities in the UK. Newcastle is small enough to be familiar, but big enough to live. From the river, you can walk 20 minutes up through the city to our campus. And in the heart of the city, Northumbria University is a university on an upward trend across international, national, and subject rankings. A top 30 UK ranking and a top 400 global ranking, the highest ranked young university in the UK. We are making an impact both globally and locally. I love the opportunities that students have to inform and be informed by industry, whether during their classes by former graduates, including figures like Sir Johnny Ive, designer of the iPhone, AirPods, Apple Watch, or out on placements such as nurses in hospitals, computing scientists at Microsoft, or sports management students on the Olympic Organising Committee. Our internationally recognised accreditations, practice-led teaching, and opportunities for industrial placements contribute to an excellent reputation for graduate employability. We have a comprehensive offer at Northumbria. We have over 200 3- or 4-year majors across 4 academic faculties: business and law, environment and engineering, health and life sciences, and arts, design and social sciences. We offer single honour majors with some joint honours and major minors within the same course subject. Northumbria is very strong in computing science, design, sports management and nursing, and these prove to be very popular with American students who want a fast track into vocational professions. For those who want something different, alongside their UK study experience, we have a unique opportunity for any non-business students to study an international year in business with our partner, Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences. And although it makes you very jealous, if there are any aspiring male or female soccer players, Northumbria has partnered with the I2I Soccer Academy, combining selected majors with a program of a professional development program. Newcastle is a very affordable city to live in, partly why I decided to stay after I graduated in 2004. Living costs are very affordable, with student discounts available for pretty much everything and good opportunities for part-time work. You can definitely live on campus at Northumbria if you want, and university accommodation is guaranteed for all international students. The majority of accommodation is within a 5-minute walk of the campus. All rooms are single occupancy, and costs vary depending on how important things like your own bathroom and shower are to you. Although I always find it odd saying that when so many American colleges don't even offer their own bedroom. We don't have campus meal plans, but we do have a catered accommodation offer for those parents who are worried about you feeding yourself. Living and studying in England is in many ways similar to the US. We have the clubs and associations you would likely find in US colleges. However, we don't have the Greek life, and we don't have the 1,000-seater stadiums to cheer on your favorite football players. Although we do have a very strong athletic offer with equivalencies to NCAA Division 1 and 2 in soccer, volleyball, and athletics. Northumbria, like all UK universities, has excellent provisions to support students with their wealth, finances, academics, and general well-being. Our average cost of attendance is $98,500 for a typical 3-year major, inclusive of our global scholarship, which is automatically awarded to all enrolled international students. We also have a Raise Me Micro Scholarship of up to $2,000 for US applicants. Students can use their financial aid for most UK universities, including Northumbria, and you can complete your form as you would in the US and just list our institutional code. What is different is the application process. Students will apply to their major as well as university, with a decision predominantly being made on your academic grades. At Northumbria, we consider all applications with or without your test score, although there may be some subject-specific requirements. Thank you from the heart of our campus. I hope you enjoyed this quick intro to our offer at Northumbria. Please feel free to scan here to arrange a one-to-one meeting, and I hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you very much, Northumbria. Moving on to our next panelist this evening, we have University of Central Lancashire.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Emily and I am the Regional Manager at the University of Central Lancashire, and welcome from my house in the north of England in Preston, where just 5 or 10 minutes from where the university is located. I'm going to go through some slides here. There's quite a lot of information, but you don't need to remember it all. I'll give you some my details at the end so you can contact me. All the pictures that you see in all of the slides are from around the campus or from around the city. The University of Central Lancashire is considered a modern university, but we have actually got a history going back to 1828. We're a fairly large university of around 24,000 students, but 4,500 of them are international students from all over the world. The kind of average tuition fees for a full degree, so for the full 3 years of a bachelor's degree, is around $58,000 US, and we have scholarship packages of up to around $20,000. But that will vary between the different programs that you might be considering, and some of the scholarships are merit-based scholarships as well. We also accept the FAFSA loans for our non-clinical subjects, and we have students here on VA funding and private loans as well. We're a test flexible university, so we will look at the different options you may have, be that dual enrolment, honours level classes, APs, SATs, and if you don't have them, we do have some options available for our 4-year bachelor's degree programmes as well. We are investing a lot in the future of our campus and the future of our students, including a £200 million campus master plan. And we just recently opened the Engineering Innovation Centre, which is the large building you can see at the bottom of your screen. All of these buildings are buildings from around our campus. We're located in the city of Preston. Preston is a city, but it's a small city with a multicultural population. The total population is only around 140,000 people. It's a very affordable and a very safe city to live in. We're around 40 minutes from the bigger cities of Manchester and Liverpool, and about 2.5 hours on the train to London. We are a very networked city, and there is an excellent train station that takes you to many different parts of the UK. It's only about 10 minutes walk to the train station or to the centre of the city, and we have easy links to Manchester International Airport. All of the pictures you can see there are from around the Preston city, and the majority of these locations are within 10 to 15 minutes walk of our campus. We really do try and make it a home from home for you. We've got lots of accommodation, and you're guaranteed accommodation in your first year. Again, it's all apartment style, single bedrooms. You're never going to have to share a bedroom with anyone else. You will always have access to a kitchen. And there's lots of clubs and societies and things that you can join in with, social events that you can get involved with through the university and through your accommodation and through our students' union as well. If you're interested in sports, we've got a sports arena just off campus, and we have shuttle buses going back and forth there. And then we also have our sports centre and lots of sports teams as well. We have a huge range of programs, and I'm not going to list all of them. You can have a look there, and if there's something you spot that is of particular interest, you can get in touch with me and I can tell you more information about it. We have a lot of both STEM programs, creative programs, humanities, social sciences. So it's likely that you're going to find something that is of interest to you. We also have a lot of professional programs, be that medicine or law or physiotherapy or pharmacy. So there's plenty of things that you can choose from there. You can get in touch with me at any point, and I will be more than happy to help you decide what you might be interested in doing at University of Central Lancashire. You can contact me on email or on telephone, but I also have a connection that you can see on the screen there, and you can click on, so you can go to that link, my calendar, and you can book an appointment with me, and I will be more than happy to sit down and work through with you what you will need in order to gain entry to the programme of your choice, and whether you might be eligible for scholarships, and perhaps just help to guide you with what it is that you might be interested in actually studying. We have a huge range of programmes, and sometimes it can be quite difficult to find exactly what it is that you want, but that's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to help you with, and I will be delighted to help you with that at any point. Please do get in touch with me if I can help you with anything, and thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you very much, University of Central Lancashire. Before we move on to our next presenter, just a quick reminder to any of attendees who recently joined us, you are welcome and encouraged to ask questions to any of the panelists at any time utilizing the Q&A feature. But up next is the University of East Anglia.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chris. That gave me enough time to bring up my screen. So thank you. I appreciate it. My name is Alana. I'm the regional manager for the University of East Anglia. You don't notice an accent because I am from the United States and I am based in Michigan. So closer to you than across the pond, but also able to help you just as much. So the University of East Anglia, also known as UEA, was founded in 1963. So we are relatively young, but we've done a great job at establishing ourselves since then. We are a World Top 200 and a UK Top 25 institution as well. And part of the reason why I do mention those is, again, just to establish us as a university, because you may have never heard of UEA before, or obviously where we're located, which I will get to in a second. We are a public campus-based research university, so the professors that you'll be learning under are doing top-level research in their fields and putting forth that research to be cited also. We do have a wide variety of subjects, so pretty much anything you do want to study, we have, and I will have a listing of those a bit later, but there are 160 undergraduate courses, or what you know as majors. We are on the larger side of institutions, but just barely, with about 17,000 students, and of that, about 17% are international from a wide variety of countries across the world. We are located in Norwich, which is about an hour and a half from London by train. That area of the country is countryside, so it's beautiful farmland. So you're kind of in a nice, peaceful area. You also have access to the beach, which is about 30 minutes away by train if you like to head out to the beach, although the water is pretty cold. I do know some of the students sometimes do go in. We have our own international airport, and I'm sorry, Ian, that there is not a photo there of our airport, but pretty easy to get to or to get to directly from London. The population of the city is pretty small with about 130,000 people, but we are a destination city and one of the largest cities in that area. So we are a shopping destination. We have also been named one of the most vegan-friendly cities in the UK because of our high number of vegan restaurants per person. So even if you're not vegan, I just think that speaks to the eclectic nature of our city, Norwich. And then also we have been named one of the most affordable cities as well as one of the best cities to live in for that area. On the left-hand side, you can see some parts of Norwich. It is a quintessentially British city, also very friendly as well. We do have 2 cathedrals and a castle. If you saw the movie Jingle Jangle or watched that with your family and friends over the holiday season, you would have noticed Elm Hill, which is a special region of Norwich where the snowball scene of that film was set. So even if you don't realize it, you have actually seen Norwich in the past. Our campus is about 3 miles from the city center itself, situated on 320 acres of green space. So you can see there's a lot of space for people to take walks. You can walk around our lake that you see on the left-hand side. We also have one of the largest indoor sports parks in Great Britain. So you can see all the fields and pitches and tracks on the right-hand side. Our student union hosts 60 or more live music gigs in a good year. So you get exposed to a lot of different music. The library is 24/7. We also have all the support services that you would need as an international student, as well as accommodation, which, as Ian mentioned, is mostly single space at UEA. We also have the Sainsbury Center for Visual Arts, which is in the upper left-hand corner there. And the reason I mentioned that is another Hollywood connection, because again, although you may have never heard of UEA, you have probably seen it in some of the Avengers films, as the Sainsbury Center doubles as the Avengers headquarters in some of those movies. The first slide did show one of our brand new buildings. That's our brand new science building. We also have Productivity East, which is a collaboration between industry engineers in the area, as well as our engineering students. And then we also have slated the Sky House, which is set to be home to our arts and humanities students, as well as our social science. So there is infrastructural development happening on our campus. As mentioned, these are our 4 faculties, and these are just the overarching programs. So there are more degree categories under this, but UEA is by far known for environmental science as well as creative writing. We also do well with business, economics, and international development. But as you can see, we do pretty much have a little bit to offer everybody and what they're looking for. The programs are standard 3 years long, and you do have to know exactly what you want to study. You can apply to 5 universities or 5 programs on UCAS to all UK institutions, including my colleagues that are here today. Our requirements include a 3.3 GPA or higher, depending on the program you're going into, 3 AP or 3 AP or IB exams, or an SAT or an ACT exam. Now, if you are looking at going into something that requires a subject-specific test, then you will have to replicate that in an AP or IB. We do look at demonstrated interest so that you have studied something within your subject area and that we do know that you're interested in that specific area. And then also, most of our courses will not require these, but some do require interviews, auditions, or portfolios. Our costs start at about 24,000 US dollars and go up to about 30,000. If you're looking at medicine, that's going to be a bit more expensive. It's worth noting that if you do decide to do a year in industry or a year abroad built into your programs, that's typically not done at the full cost. So that still will not be paying 4 years of full tuition. And the estimated cost of living is about 13,000 US dollars per year. And I think you can live more affordably than that in Norwich. 2021 scholarships start at automatic 4,000 for the first year and go up to £8,000 per year. We are FAFSA loan eligible and students can work on their student visa. Please do connect with us. We have a student ambassador from California. Her name's Nicole. She'd be happy to speak with you about her experience. She's in her final year and potentially about to do a master's degree with us as well. And finally, I will leave my contact information up there. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me.
Great. Thank you very much, University of East Anglia. Up next this evening is the University of East London.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me this evening. My name is Caitlin Benania, and I am the Americas Recruitment Officer here at the University of East London. And I'm going to discuss studying at UEL and how that compares to studying in the US. So just before I discuss studying in London, I just want to talk about London first. So this quote says, "When a man is tired of London, he is tired of life." And I really think that this quote captures the kind of beauty and essence of London. It's an extremely diverse city filled with opportunities and excitement. I think one of my favorite things about London is the fact that you never know what's waiting for you around the corner. There's very few places in this world that can offer you that. And I've been living in London for 3 years now, and I still haven't done everything that there is to do. So this is a photo of our Docklands campus. We've got 3 campuses in East London. The Docklands campus is our main campus. We are one of the few London universities with on-campus accommodation. And as you can see, we are located right on the river. So our students get to wake up to that gorgeous view. I'll talk a bit more about accommodation a bit later, but as you can see, we're set in a very residential suburban area. The moment that you walk out of campus, there's a primary school and just a bunch of houses and neighborhoods. If you take a look at the circle in the photo, that is actually a photo of our on-campus tube station. So we are easily connected to the rest of London by public transport, and it makes for traveling around the city super easy and super convenient. So like I said, we've got 3 campuses all based in East London. The university's roots can be traced back to 1892, and we gained university status in 1992. We've got 17,000 students, 20% of which are international students, and we've got a wide variety of subjects spread across 6 schools. So education, business and law, health, sport and bioscience, art and creative industries, architecture and computing, as well as our School of Psychology. So just to compare studying in the UK or studying at the University of East London versus studying in the US, it's free to apply to UEL, so you've literally got nothing to lose by submitting an application. We've got rolling admission, so we aim to send your decision to you within 2 to 4 weeks, although it may take longer during busy time periods. The deadline to submit your application is the end of July. However, I recommend applying sooner rather than later. And the duration is 3 years. That's pretty much the standard in the UK. It's one of the biggest differences, and it's definitely the reason why we're seeing more and more Americans choosing to study in the UK. Tuition for the first year is just $19,000 US, and that includes the cost of your textbooks. So tuition for the entire degree is just $57,000 US, and I'm sure you're all aware of what it's like to study in the US, so I'm not going to go into that. But one of the things I am going to go into is accommodation. I absolutely love talking about accommodation just because everyone gets their own private room and bathroom on campus. So you don't have to share anything with anyone. You just have to share the kitchen. And you'll only be sharing between 3 and 5 other students. So it's really great if you love socializing, being with your friends, but if you also enjoy having your own space. It's something that I definitely loved during my time as a student. And accommodation starts at $8,000 per year, and meal plans are not compulsory. You've got your own kitchen, so you are definitely better off cooking your own meals, or when in doubt, having something delivered to you. And if you've got any questions at all, do feel free to get in touch. As you can tell by my accent, I am not British, I am American. And I did study in London, so I know that it can be quite a lot to think about. It can be overwhelming, you know, not just thinking about college, but thinking about going to college overseas. So if you've got any questions, if your parents have any questions, I'm more than happy to talk about London, about the university, or about my experience and what the transition was like moving from America to the UK. But I hope you found this informative and insightful, and I'm going to hand things back over to my colleague, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much, University of East London. As we move on to our final presenter, again, just a reminder, you're welcome to send any questions you may have to any of the panelists using the Q&A feature. But up next is University of Westminster.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening. I think everyone's done a great job already of selling the UK and already talking about how wonderful London is. So I'll keep it as brief as possible. I'm Jane, and I'm from the international team at Westminster, and I support students who are joining us from the Americas. So my email is here throughout the presentation, but you're welcome to get in touch if you want to find out any more, ask any questions at any point. And this is probably where we'll find that my presentation doesn't move. So the University of Westminster is in central London. We're very much part of London. We were actually established to teach Londoners professional skills in the early 1800s, and that really reflects today the course offering that we have, the learning and the teaching style that we offer, and the focus on professional accreditations, work placement, and industry relevant curriculum. So you'll find at Westminster often our teaching staff maybe are currently also working in their field or have recent experience in their field. And we focus very much on applied programs and courses. So we're an average size, I think, comparing to a lot of the other institutions you've spoken to, heard from today already. We're very international. We reflect London. London has been the top choice for international students for the past couple of years, and it is a great city for students, and particularly for international students, to get that global perspective while they're learning and enjoy London and the history as well. So we are one of the top, we often rank in the top 10 and top 20, depending on the rankings for International Outlook. And we have more than 165 different nationalities in our student and staff body. So you're assured, hopefully, of a warm welcome, and also coming to join an institution that's used to teaching students from a variety of different academic backgrounds. So this is where we are. I've also got a mention of airports, just to stay on the theme. So obviously really well collected in central London with 5 airports. If you want to travel around the UK, it's really relatively small. So lots of our students will really go to Europe for weekends, enjoy that in normal times. And you can obviously get to know the whole of the UK as well as enjoying London. And then you've hopefully got easy access for getting home. So this is where we are in terms of London. So there are lots of institutions in London, but we are right in the heart of central West London. So if any of you have visited, our original building is our Regent Street campus, and that's Oxford Street, Oxford Circus. It's a big shopping area of London. You've got our Baker Street campus up in the middle there next to Regent's Park, Madame Tussauds, Baker Street. So really central locations. You can see we're really part of the city. And if you're studying a subject area, you don't need to move between these buildings, but it's only about a 15-minute walk between those central London campuses. So central London's actually really quite small, very safe, easy to get around, but you would be studying in your faculty. And then we have our digital and creative industries, and that's at our Harrow campus, which is near to Wembley Stadium, if anyone is a soccer fan and knows that. We have accommodation, either on site or in London within a 20 to 25-minute journey. And our students really enjoy being part of the city, and that's what they choose. And this is just some images and a quick overview of our subject areas, but you'll notice that all our buildings are fairly different. And I really encourage, if you're looking at Westminster, look at your subject, obviously the research, the area, the department and facilities, but then also look at the environment and the study environment you'll be in. Well, obviously not just for Westminster, but for any of the institutions today, but for us, it does vary quite a lot by faculty. So we've got biomedical sciences, nutrition, psychology. We've got some fantastic research going on at the moment in breast cancer research, parallel computing in these faculties. This is our original building, Regent Street. Things here that are really popular with things like international relations, museums and gallery studies, which we offer in conjunction with the Tate and the Museum of London. So we really try and use our location for the teaching of the students, for the industry links we have. We get talks going on quite a lot in our central campuses because industry are happy to come in and meet the students. This is our business school and also architecture. We do a lot of interior architecture, environmental design as well. We've got tourism here, great place to study tourism because London until 2020 was the top tourist destination, a city in the world. And then this is our Harrow campus, different again, you'll notice. This is where we do digital and creative industries. We were the first institution in the world to have a photographic sciences degree. We have a lot of famous alum in our film and fashion programs. So if you're interested in any of those, then do get in touch or have a look for more details on our website. I don't think I need to go over the accommodation, it's been well covered. So ours are all self-catered, you get your own room and then you get your own bathroom, and you obviously would normally be expected to do your own cooking, but we do have catering on our campuses as well. These are our entry requirements. So for 2021, we are happy to accept students directly with a high school diploma where we can. We'll look for subject areas if they're needed. We may ask you to do a 4-year program, but we are trying to accept students who are not able to take additional exams this year straight in. Our fees fairly similar, so you're looking at about $20,000 a year, and that's for a 3-year bachelor's program. And if you do a 4-year course and do a work placement with us, then you don't pay the tuition fee for that year, you pay a small admin fee. FAFSA accreditation as well, and we have some scholarships. And you've got my contact details there, and we've got some open events coming up. So if you'd like to know about your subjects and know the details, please do join if you can, or you're welcome to contact me at any point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, University of Westminster, and thank you to all of our presenters this evening. We do have some time remaining, so attendees, feel free to submit any additional questions you may have utilizing the Q&A button. If I could ask all our presenters to turn their cameras back on, perhaps we can do a quick round robin of questions ourselves. Starting out with students hear a lot about events and traditions on US campuses, but not much about campuses around the world. So how about what's your favorite event or tradition on campus or in town? We can go back in the same order, starting with Northumbria.
Thank you, Chris. So as I mentioned in the presentation, we are a very sporting city. And that's carried over into university life. There's 2 large universities in the city centre who are very competitive, both academically and also across athletics. So we have the Stan Calvert Cup, which is an annual competition between Northumbria and Newcastle University over a range of different athletic sports. And Northumbria are the current champions and reigning champions for a number of years. So there you go.
Thank you. Central Lancashire.
Well, my personal favourite tradition is me pretending to be a student right in week 1 to get all of the samples of all of the wonderful food from all of the local restaurants right at the very beginning of the year when new students are coming in. A lot of the big restaurants, but also the smaller local restaurants will do deals and will give samples out to the students, but not to the staff. So I usually go around pretending to be a student, and that is definitely my favourite tradition.
East Anglia.
Yep, so I always hate saying the name of this to students especially, but it's a tradition. They put it on hiatus, but are hopefully bringing it back, and it is a charitable donation. So it does go to a good cause, but it's called Pimp My Barrow, where students basically decorate a wheelbarrow and kind of promenade them throughout UEA. But again, it's been put on hiatus. I think they're going to play around with it a little, but it does go to a good cause at the end of the day. I've never seen it, but I do know you can Google it and see videos of it.
East London.
Something that's a bit of a tradition on campus, because we're located right on the river. Everyone loves to take photos right by the river. Every single day you'll see students and sometimes staff members just posing by the river and taking pictures.
Great, thank you. Westminster.
I was going to say I really love going to our graduate shows for our architecture students and really seeing the work and the things that they've achieved, but that's probably not a tradition. So our sports day, where we all as staff get to access all the sports facilities and are forced to exercise for a day, it will be that.
Great. How about what's one piece of advice you have for someone applying to schools outside the US? Or if you don't want to answer that, why should students consider applying to college outside the US? And we'll go back in that same order, starting with Northumbria.
Yeah, so my advice is twofold. So firstly, always take your time to consider the options carefully. There's a lot of pressure to continue on that life path of education. I didn't do that, and I managed to be okay. I took 2 years out before I went to university, and I think there's no better time to take off that extra time and do your research. And then in terms of researching, we all have fantastic offers here in the UK, very much about focused learning. So really dig into the various information that's available to you on our institutional websites for the classes across the similar majors, and then you get a real feel for what's on offer at each university, even though the major will be very similar in title.
Great, thank you. Central Lancashire.
Yeah, following on a little bit from what Ian just said there, when you're looking at all of the different programs you can do at all of the different universities, you can create a little bit of a ranking for yourself, because there's going to be lots of great programs and lots of great universities out there, but you're trying to find the one that's great for you. So to figure out what it is that you want, and pull together the information from the universities that are interesting you, whether it's because they just look nice or whether it's because the program really, really interests you. Pull that information together and do a bit of a ranking for what is most important for you. Because if you hate sport, you're probably not going to think too much about doing sport. And likewise, if you're only interested in business, you don't really care how good the forensic science program is. So create your own ranking, and then that will help you figure out what you want to do.
Great. East Anglia.
Yeah, 2 bits of information. So I always say, don't be afraid to consider where your friends aren't going. I did not go to UEA or in the UK, but I will say that none of my friends went to the same university as I did, and things turned out okay. So it's okay to go against the grain a tiny bit. And then also I will say, please check us out on social media, because obviously visiting isn't a possibility right now. But I always tell students, don't just look at our official social media pages, check to see what students are hashtagging us in, because you want the realistic version of the university and not just the sunny background like we have here, to see the good, bad, and the ugly of every single university that you're considering.
It's not always sunny in Norwich. East London.
So something that I did when I was a senior in high school is I didn't tell anyone that I applied to the University of East London. I didn't tell anyone that I was even considering London until I actually made the decision. And I think looking back, I'm really glad that I did that, just because no one was able to influence my decision or push me to go to London, because it was an amazing opportunity. And I think by doing that, I was able to make the decision completely on my own, which I'm really glad that I did.
Thank you. Westminster?
I think I can only add, yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions and get in touch, and yeah, speak to students, speak to staff, ask questions, and whatever it is you're worried about, you can find the answers, you can get in touch. Studying overseas, you get your studies, your degree, and you get a new experience, new friends, new culture. It's a fantastic opportunity to do both things. So why not consider it?
Great. And last question. This is, we won't require people to answer this. You can chime in if you want to. What is a common question you get from international applicants that you'd like to cover quickly now? And feel free to jump in.
I'm constantly getting asked what is our graduation rate, on-time graduation rate. And I think it's something that's quite important to say just for all of the UK universities, is that because when you're applying to a UK university, you're applying to the major you're going to study, we are essentially pre-registering you in all of the classes that you need. So you're never ending up in a situation where you can't get the classes that you need to be able to graduate. So in the UK, a British student would never ask that question, because the assumption is that whatever you have signed on for, if that's a 3-year bachelor's degree or a 4 years bachelor's degree, you will complete in that time. And that is the case for basically all of the UK universities. And I think that's something that's quite important for you guys to know.
I was also going to say the C word of COVID. So how are we adjusting to COVID and test flexibility that is sweeping across the US? So I would say for most of us, obviously you need to talk to each one of us individually, but in general, we do understand the need to be flexible. So if a student weren't able to sit for a testing, especially if they were applying for this year, I think the message is that they would need to reach out and contact us to let us know that that was the instance. But again, we all know we need to be flexible within that. And I think we are adjusting to that as well, or a lot of us are adjusting to the test optionability that is kind of floating around, and trying to make our requirements look a little bit more competitive to what you might be starting to see in the US. But again, every single one of us is a little bit different. So do reach out to us. But again, there is that understanding, and we do understand that junior year, especially if you're looking to apply for next year, has been greatly affected by COVID.
We often get asked, is a 3-year major worth the same as a 4-year major in the US? And absolutely yes. I think we're all FAFSA accredited, which does give you that reassurance that these are genuine qualifications of the same, if not better stature than what you may get from a US college, certainly quicker time. So that is something that needs to be reassured as well to all those prospective students.
No pressure. Anybody else? Okay, great. Well, thank you to all of our presenters this evening for your wonderful presentations. Before we wrap up, just a few quick housekeeping items. I want to thank all of our attendees, of course, for joining us. When you close this window, you will receive a very quick 4-question survey that we ask that you take a minute and complete. And again, feel free to sign up for more sessions, either for later this evening or tomorrow. And about 1 week from today, a recording of this session will be available on that same registration website. But again, thank you to everybody and to our students. Good luck in your college search. Have a great night.